Thank you and welcome. I'm by the name Agri Kevin, and I'm going to talk about preventable diseases in the United States and worldwide. So this is the outline of the things that I'm going to talk about. Introduction, comparison of the leading causes of preventable diseases worldwide and in the United States, the overview of 7 dimensions of wellness, and the ways to reduce preventable diseases. After all, I will conclude and then put the reference. So, as an introduction, it says preventable diseases are diseases that can be stopped from spreading or from people from acquiring them. So there is statistics say that each year nearly 900,000 Americans die prematurely from the 5 leading causes of death. This is like they said 20%, yet 20% to 40% of deaths of each group can be prevented. So we are going to see various ways on which they can be prevented. So this is an example of a kid who is being given vaccination. As we are going to see, vaccination is one of the things that are done in order to reduce the risk or the risk of those preventable diseases. So to move on, leading causes of preventable diseases. The first thing is about poor nutrition. As we have seen, good nutrition helps to lower the risk of many chronic diseases. We have given an example of the heart diseases, stroke, and etc. Statistics shows that in 2007, only 24% of adults ate 5 or more serving fruits or vegetables per day. You see, like fruits and vegetables, we know it's a good diet that can help us to fight against some diseases, also prevent us or can enhance our immunity. Let's talk about lack of physical activity. Also, statistics shows that approximately 3.2 million people die each year due to physical inactivity. As we have seen, regular physical activity reduces risk of diseases such as cardiovascular diseases, which include high blood pressure, diabetes, breast and colon cancer, and even depression on emotional health. To move on, let's talk about also tobacco use. Smoking and health has concluded that tobacco use is the single most avoidable causes of disease, disability, and death in the United States. We are going to down there. We are going to see how this can be prevented and how it can work on to ensure that it doesn't harm people anymore. We say that more than 43 million American adults, they still smoke. This is the cause which is affecting so many people, adults in the United States and also in the worldwide, because we are seeing that tobacco is the leading cause of death. Except consumption of alcohol. So you see, excess alcohol use in the nation's third leading lifestyle-related cause of death. So you see, it's the third most among the ranking, and we say about 30% of adult current drinkers report drinking in the past 30 days. You see, this is one of the causes that leading to death of preventable diseases. People have been having this problem before of taking excessive alcohol, which can cause like liver cirrhosis, which can cause also diseases like to the liver and so on. So it's also one of the leading causes of preventable diseases. Let's now talk about compare and contrast the leading diseases causes in USA and the worldwide. Sorry. In the United States, they say that the 5 leading causes of death is the heart, cancer and chronic lower respiratory diseases, stroke, and unintentional injuries. These are the major causes of leading causes of preventable diseases. Also in the world, in the other countries, they say nearly 80% of non-communicable deaths occur in lower and middle income. As we know, this is different from the United States because in the United States, it's high income country. The main diseases comprise of mainly cardiovascular diseases such as atherosclerosis. We have a disease like hypertension and so on. There are also cancer, and we have also diabetes and chronic lung diseases. You see, they are different from the diseases which are caused in United States. So to talk about more about comparing the two, the world and United States, we found that the most leading the cause of death is tobacco use. As we have seen there before, that almost 43 million people from adults in the United States smoke. This also the same as in other worldwide countries where we found that tobacco use is also one of the most things that is causing death. Another one we talked about physical inactivity. We found that there, to some extent, there are some people do not practice any physical activity. The same way it also does in worldwide. We also found that the diet people are taking, we found that from above, we found that 5 or less people in the United States consume fruits and vegetables per day. This also the same in worldwide, where countries whereby people do not even have enough income to access to that diet, whereby they are not able to access that diet from the market because of maybe some problems, poverty, and so other determinant of health, as we are going to see down there. So to move on, let's see now the social determinant of health. As we have been talking about different categories of things above there, let's see how the social determinant of health also have an impact to one's health. The first we have seen like education, there are social and community contexts, health and healthcare. Let's talk about, for instance, education. The level of education impacts people in different ways. People with high level of education, we know they are able to know the risk measures maybe of maybe tobacco use and how they can able to control and so on. In comparison with the people with low education, we find that they don't have the information about maybe the diet they should take, the right quantity, maybe the protein, carbohydrates, and so on. So for them, it becomes so hard. That's why you find when we are talking about the United States and the worldwide, we find that those countries of low and middle income countries, they are facing the problem more than the United States. Their leading causes are different from the causes in the United States, simply because the education, the way people are informed, the information they are given, and so on. So the education level for those developed countries like the United States is different, where people are they are informed, they are aware of the kind of food they take, and so on. So let's move on. Get an overview of 7 dimensions of wellness. The wellness is a lifestyle of coordinated and integrated living pattern that improves 7 dimensions, which is physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual, occupational, and environmental. So when we talk about physical dimension, deals with the functional operation of the body, how the body functions, like how the body works, like to release waste product, how the body works to cool the all the activities that takes place in the body, cooling system of the body, so on the system, all the system in the body. Emotional dimension is the ability to enjoy, to laugh, adjust to changes, cope with stress. So it goes about how you manage emotions, how emotions come about. Intellectual dimensions involves the use of mind. Maintaining an active mind contributes to the total well-being. As we know, the mind, the intellectual mind, some person has five senses. How do those five senses coordinate to one another to bring about an effective well-being of a person? That's what we are talking about. To move on, spiritual dimension. Spiritual dimension is all about meaning and all direction of life. Different people have their meaning about life, traditional life, basing on their maybe traditional beliefs, rituals, and so on. To move on, the social dimensions, the wellness that involves to get along with others. How do you appreciate the uniqueness of others? How do you feel like you are connected with other people, different from maybe your ethnicity or your background? How do you appreciate their culture, their beliefs, their values, and so on? In the environmental dimension, deals with the preservation of natural resources as well as protection of plant and wildlife. It's all about environments, those things that surrounds us. How do we preserve them? How do we protect them? And in occupational dimension involves deriving personal satisfactions from your vocation, or what are you doing to earn the living. It's all what they are talking about. So there are ways to reduce the preventable diseases and their interventions. Let's talk about like reduce of tobacco use. As you have seen, the tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable diseases. Policy promotion, promoting policies that will enhance education to people and different others. Health equity, improving the well-being of the people, as we have seen some social determinants, how they are affecting the lifestyles and behaviors of people, how they are contributing to preventable diseases. I mean, eating diet foods, as we have seen before, and improving physical fitness or activities like walking, riding bicycle, and so on. So there are some intervention I come about. They are like educational interventions. It's all about creating awareness, synthesizing, giving people information. Worksite intervention is all about teaching people at workplace, and so that they can have the common knowledge about these things we are talking about, tobacco use and what. Transport and environmental design. How are we designing our transport system, the environment, so that it can help us to prevent the diseases? Improve food supply is all about the quantity of the fruits, the vegetables, and all the food that we need to have a good diet that comprises all the requirements like vitamins, proteins, carbohydrates, and so on. So let's conclude. In conclusion, we found that the 5 leading causes of death in the United States are heart, cancer, chronic lower respiratory diseases, stroke, and unintentional injuries. The unintentional injuries, we see that like the lack of use of helmet, maybe safety belt while driving, and so on. There are ways and intervention aimed to reducing preventable disease. As we have seen that despite of this being a threat, there are ways that we can use to reduce them. So this is a graph showing the data of information I got from my resource, showing how different deaths caused by vaccine and vaccine preventable diseases in the world. As you have seen, those diseases in the world, they are like measles, whooping cough, hepatitis, tetanus, yellow fever, diphtheria, and so on. So this is a graph showing that. So thank you for having, this is the reference whereby the information was retrieved from to create this presentation. Thank you very much.